Welcome back to Fox and Friends. First, there were some fireworks, to say the least, on the Fox News debate stage last night. But when the sparks weren't flying, did the candidates' words actually resonate with voters? Pollster Michael Maslansky with Maslansky and Partners just put them to the dial test. Always love this segment, and nice to have you here with us this morning.
Great to be here.
Yeah. So let's start with this. Rubio, he said 2/3 don't want Trump to be the nominee. Listen.
2/3 of the people who have cast a vote in a Republican primary or caucus have voted against you. They do not want you to be our nominee. And the reason why is because we are not going to turn over the conservative movement or the party of Lincoln or Reagan, for example, to someone whose positions are not conservative, to someone who last week defended Planned Parenthood for 30 seconds on a debate stage, to someone, for example, that has no ideas on foreign, someone who thinks the nuclear triad is a rock band from the 1980s, to someone who time and again on issue after issue has not proven that he has the principles that outline what the conservative movement has been about, and as Ted said, the things that made America great.
Thinks the nuclear triad is a rock band from the 1980s. So grade here, C+.
C+.
There you go.
If you're going to take down Trump, you need an attack that's really going to work, going to resonate. And for some reason, Rubio and Cruz keep going down this road of that he's not a conservative. This election is not about being a conservative. It's about appealing to a whole different set of interests. And so every time they attack him for not being conservative, they fail to really find a weakness in Trump.
All right, so let's take a look at the next one. This was Trump answering back, saying that you have to be flexible.
Megan, I have a very strong call. I have a very strong call. But I've never seen a successful person who wasn't flexible, who didn't have a certain degree of flexibility. You have to have a certain degree of flexibility.
Strong core because he does a lot of yoga. But the grade on that one is a B-. That's what you were able to get there. Now, he was able to use the flexibility issue and kind of spin it in his favor, where you had Rubio and Cruz trying to use it against him and saying he's too flexible and he won't stick to what he says he's going to do.
Absolutely. He gets a B-, but any other Republican using this line would get a D or an F. Whenever you do polling of Republicans, they want people who don't compromise, who stand on their principles. Here he is saying that he's not going to negotiate, and he gets positive marks from Republicans, independents, and even Democrats.
So what's the difference?
Well, it's the nature of Trump. It is that he has convinced people, many people in the Republican Party, that he's a different kind of candidate, and that he's going to get things done, and that people are willing to accept a certain amount of flexibility. They don't see it as compromise in a negative way. They see it as his way of achieving the goals that they want.
Or someone who admits up front and honestly that they're going to be flexible versus someone who says, oh, no, I'm not going to, cave, and then goes in and ends up caving.
Absolutely. Like everything that Trump does, he owns it. And when you show that confidence, you get more respect. All
right, one more with Rubio saying that I'll support Trump if he's the nominee. Hillary lied about Benghazi.
I'll support Donald if he's the Republican nominee, and let me tell you why. Because the Democrats have two people left in the race. One of them is a socialist. America doesn't want to be a socialist country. If you want to be a socialist country, then move to a socialist country. The other one is under FBI investigation. And not only is she under FBI investigation, she lied to the families of the victims of Benghazi. And anyone who lies to the families of victims who have lost their lives in the service of our country can never be the commander-in-chief of the United States.
All right, what's the grade here?
So he gets an A- here. From a communication perspective, it's a great line. From a strategy perspective, it's a disaster. He just basically complimented Trump. And at a time where the only path to victory for him is to bring him down. It's not helpful to him.
But he talked about Benghazi, and that always is a good trigger for Republicans.
Absolutely. It's code. It's really positive. But again, if you need to bring down Trump, you can't waste an opportunity like that.
So how should he have handled it?
Well, I think you have to say that you're going to support Trump, but then you have to start to show why he's not the right person to be the nominee.
Okay. Yeah, because all of them on the stage said that they would support Trump to varying degrees of commitment. I guess you could put it that way.
Right. Well, they need to keep Trump and the Trump support in the party. And so they need to show that they're going to go through this process, but they still need to make the case that Trump is not the man for the job.
And we'll see if that helps. All right. Thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate it as always.